Hi there. In 2018, I decided to try my hand at cosplay, and for my first build, I went with the mask worn by Pirate Queen Divatox from Power Rangers Turbo. Now, the downside of documenting the making of my Divatox mask 5 years after making it in 2018 is I don't fully remember how I made the side and back panels of this mask, so anytime I talk about those sections of the mask, it is a complete guess based on what I have documented. Sorry about that. So why am I now bothering to document the making of this mask after all this time in 2023? Content. I bought some craft foam from Amazon and started making the face section of the mask. I heated up the foam with a hairdryer so it could match the shape of my face. Then I drew the basic shape of Divatox's mask and cut it out. There were also times where I had to draw the outline of the mask on my face to make sure everything lined up properly, as you do. Now, on the side of Divatox's mask, there are these protrusions that I think are meant to be gills. And at some point after making the face part of the mask, I cut out panels of foam for the gills. They were then attached to the face panel with superglue. However, this is when I noticed two mistakes. The empty space on the left side of the mask was the wrong shape, as the mask on the show follows the shape of Divatox's eyebrow. As for the right side of the mask, I felt the hole for the right eye to see through was too big. Both of these areas were filled in with scrap foam and superglue, and the right eye hole was reinforced with newspaper and PVA glue. On the back of Divatox's mask there is a strap. I think it's ribbon, but with this being my first attempt at cosplay, I felt elastic would be easier to use. Unfortunately, I could only get white elastic, so I tried dyeing it black with Sharpie, but that didn't look good, so I soaked the elastic in black ink, and that did change the elastic's color. Now, for the back panels of the mask, I made one panel, placed it underneath the face of the mask, and drew around it to make sure there was plenty of extra foam to glue the back panel to the rest of the mask, but also have enough so there could be a base for the side panels. Now, judging from this picture, I think what I did was tape the already existing panel to some scrap foam and then just cut around the back panel I was happy with to make sure the new panel would match both in terms of shape and size. Now, unfortunately, this is when I found another issue with the mask. It was too wide. It's fine. So I cutted the mask in half, placed the right side of the mask on my face so I could see out of it, and then reattached the left side with superglue. Now for the indents on the gills. I marked out a grid on the mask and then melted some ridges into the foam by heating up a prong on a meat lifting fork with a wooden handle. Please do not copy that at home. I'm pretty sure I have broken a health and safety rule with that one. Or, just don't copy this in any way, shape, or form because, spoilers, the mask is not very good. My mother then sewed the elastic onto the foam for me. Can you tell this project predates me learning to sew? And now it was painting time. I coated all of the foam in PVA glue, hung it to dry. Once the glue was dry, I smoothed it out with sandpaper. I masked off the elastic, primed and painted the mask, and my first cosplay project was finished. And the result? Yeah, it's not great. You know how I said I hung the mask for it to dry when I coated it in PVA glue? Yeah, that was a bad idea, as the mask is trying to remain in that shape. As a result, it really squeezes the side of my head, and it isn't comfortable at all. The side gills of the mask I made don't match the angle of the gills on the mask on Power Rangers, and I miscounted how many indents to make. My mask has 3, but the mask on TV has 4. My final comparison between my mask and the costume is that the TV costume has these contours throughout, which I smoothed out when making my mask. My final criticism, and the only one that has nothing to do with comparing it to the mask we saw on TV, is at some point I shortened the elastic on the back, and I just don't remember doing that. But clearly I did. Also, the white of the elastic is bleeding through the black ink again. What I should have done was make the left side of the mask, mirror it, then add the right eye covering. That way I could guarantee symmetry in the ways that are supposed to be there. So yeah, not a great first outing into the world of cosplay, but I had to start somewhere, and I'll know for the next time I make something to cosplay in, as quite frankly, I never accept defeat! But if you enjoyed learning about my pre-YouTube noob attempt at cosplay, please like, follow, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!